Today we are going to learn about safe water and the methods of purification of water. Water is very essential for living things. Can we live without water? I don't think so. So, have you ever thought how much of the earth's surface is covered with water? Let's see how much of the earth's surface is covered with land and how much is covered with water. About 70% of the earth's surface is covered with water and 30% of the surface is covered with land. The 70% of water which is covered consists of the rivers, lakes, oceans and seas. But the 70% of water which is covered on the earth's surface, that is around 362 million trillion gallons of water. Isn't that an amazing amount of water? What happens to the water? But an interesting fact is that only 2.5% of this water which is available is fresh and clear water. But what happens to the rest? The rest of the water is saline water. The saline water is not potable water. That is, it cannot be used for drinking and any other purpose. The water which is available around as long as the earth has. Have you ever thought how the water gets dirtied and where is the need to clean water? Let's think about it. The water in the rivers and lakes get polluted by the water which flows into the rivers get mixed with the rocks, the sand and the particles and the impurities. The impure water from our houses are sent into the river which is called as the sewage. It mixes with the rivers and pollutes it. The poisonous chemical waste from the factories are sent into the rivers and polluted. The pesticides and harmful chemicals from the farms are also sent into the rivers which pollute it. Now, the polluted water cannot be used for drinking. The polluted water contains many germs and bacteria which cause diseases. Hence, the water needs to be purified. Now, we will see a few methods how we can purify water. The simplest way to purify water is the process of sedimentation. In this process, first the water is allowed to settle down for some time. After some time, the sediments get the insoluble materials, the insoluble impurities get settled down in the container, and the fresh and the clear water remains at the top. This process is called as sedimentation. The insoluble materials which are left behind is called as the sediments. The clear water is then poured into another container. This is called as decantation. Some insoluble materials are still floating in the water, on the surface of the water. This can be purified with the help of another process which is called as filtration. The clear water can then be poured into another jar where there is a filter paper and a final filter in it. The filter paper has got small pores in it wherein the impurities get settled on the paper, and the clear water gets collected into the container with the impurities left behind. This process is the process of filtration. Now, let us see the soluble impurities cannot be separated from the water by the methods which are discussed above, that is the sedimentation and filtration. The soluble impurities like salts get dissolved in the water, hence they cannot be removed easily. Here we need to boil the water and convert the water into water vapor. This process of conversion conversion of water to water vapor is called as evaporation. Now, how do we collect the water vapor? The water vapor is then condensed and cooled to collect, and it gets collected in another container. This process of evaporation and condensation is called as distillation. Distillation consists of two steps. The first is evaporation, wherein the water is converted into steam in a distillation flask. The water vapor is then cooled in a condenser, where the condenser is circulated with cool water. The water vapor converts into water and gets collected in another flask. This water is called as distilled water, and it is the purest form of water. Now, the pure water which reaches our homes has to undergoes various amount of purification methods in town water work plants. In the water work plants, the various methods are used. First, sedimentation. Sedimentation, the water is first allowed to settle down the impurities, the large impurities which are there in the water. In the huge sedimentation tanks, they are settled down at the bottom. The water is then filtered into another filtration tanks with the help of sand bits. This purified water is then chlorine is added to this purified water. The process is called as chlorination. The chlorine helps to kill the germs. This purified water is then passed through through underground pipes which reaches your homes. Now let us see how the water can be purified at our homes. Boiling is the easiest method by which the water can be purified at home. It kills the germs in the water. Chlorine can also be added to purify the water. Nowadays there are various purification machines which are used at home. Water is very essential for all of us. So we should save water. Thank you.